There be light, and there was light. Words of the said God, Mother Eve. Okay, so thank you for stopping by. We are examining the position of the gods of Genesis, the 9 gods of Genesis chapter 1 and 5 gods of Genesis chapter 2. Okay, we have explored the characteristics of the gods. For instance, the said God is the God who encapsulates all of the other gods, who I call Mother Eve, which I think we all should be calling Mother Eve. And Mother Eve is calling us all back home to really get to understand her language. So we are talking about vibration, and everything is energy, as we know, but we speak all vibrational. We breathe, we all those things are current, all the things that are really current in this sense. And Mother Eve is the waters, of course, spoken of in Genesis of chapter 1 verse 2. That's when the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the deep. So we are talking about Mother Eve. That's what was happening right there. Okay, now what we also have been looking at, of course, I've just completed a video showing the gods in the original, when we say original, the original account that we are given of the first 9/11. In fact, I ought to really term this the first 9/11 recorded in the Bible. It would be the position of the gods. It's like they had taken this position and that formed the pattern of 9/11. So we have done this in the sense that they carry their own individual numerical value. So for the created God, for instance, he is 2. Of course, he's the first, actually the first master number is the created God, which is 11, but of course we've added 1 + 1 is 2, so just to make it simpler. And so there we have the created God, and we could see with the created God that meant that is giving us an insight that our original seed or incubation, let's put it this way, there was 2, or whenever you're planting something, you need to have 2 seeds. So created had 2 seeds, whether one from the aftermath of whatever happened, having the need to create something new, or the modification of whatever seed that was left to create something new. That's what I'm believing happened here. So we have the moved God, we have the said God, saw God, divided God, called God, made God, said God, blessed God. These are the 9 gods of Genesis of chapter 1. Then we have the ended God. This is where we learn, and God ended all the works that he had made and created and so on. But we will see how those texts that we have been trying to understand for so long, why they are so implicated in a way, is that the gods themselves are also partnered with other gods too. So what I would like to do here is to see which god, according to the numerical value, is pairing up with which other god, the gods that really match up. So we have for ended God, the ended God is 5. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put along here the gods that really tally in that case. And we have the formed God is 7, the cause God, of course, which is here, cause God is 8. Now the cause God being 8 is like the word, like the God of Set. It's like they set in their own ways, so to speak. You know, it's really like they're the ones who set the pattern, who set the structure, and so on. So, so of course, according to the structure and the patterns, that gives the cause of a result, so to speak. So something is a certain way because, this is why we always have because. We use that word because the pan is round, the cake therefore comes out with a round shape. That's the cause, God. Thank you, Mother Eve. Okay, the word breathe now, of course, breathe is easy to understand, breathe and planted, because this is newness. And each time we breathe out, this is a cycle. It is a cycle. Each breath is a cycle. And when we plant, likewise is a cycle. We plant, and then of course we cultivate, we harvest. It's all cycles on top of cycles, even in plant. Now that makes sense because 9 is divisible by 3, and so we could see 3 is a 9. So we could say in plant has 3 cycles: the planting, the harvesting or cultivating, and harvesting. Yes. Okay, Mother Eve is really putting me in flow here, and I'm really open and receptive to the information that Mother Eve is granting us. And I think as well what is important, that we recognize this information we are having now, it's timely. It's as if it's ordained to be open now, to be expressed now. Everything has a divine time. It's hence the word plant as well. There is a cycle. It's the cycle. And there's the thing that I had I really wanted to express as well before I move on with this. I was listening to okay, I think I was listening to an author who spoke on the prophecies of, or the cycles of all the major events that happen in the Bible, or that is recorded in the Bible. And I think it's called prophecy. It's not prophecy, it's a P word. Okay, but yes, he made mention of all the those major events, and how they are so apparent now. They are evident. It's like we are reliving those cycles. We are reliving, like he made reference to President Trump and Obama and all of those, and they were very closely correlated with whatever the examples he was mentioning. And it suddenly struck me, it perhaps had did before, but at a deeper level, that everything has a cycle. Meaning all of creation itself, it has its cycle. The government, whoever is in power or whatever it is, it's a cycle. And when the time of that cycle has to be fulfilled, it will be fulfilled. Again, we are agents, as I did one of the videos, and discovered that we are really agents of the gods. We are agents of the gods that give rise, that perform. Sometimes it feels like, I don't know why it comes to me like that, but as if we are germs that are very active and just becoming. Or I would like to say something better too. When I say better, I mean something more favorable or pleasing to our ears, is that we are active agents participating in creation. So when a cycle is meant to be completed, if we examine our individual lives, you may end up doing something that seems very crazy, and you may be asking, I don't know why I did this. Why did I do that? But it was a cycle that was meaning to be completed. Now, even when we have not really learned something or really done something, and we think, oh no, this cycle, it keeps repeating itself. Of course, the cycles on top of cycles, or many cycles, to perform a bigger cycle. And that is exactly what Mother Eve has put in my heart to say, to remember. So right now in this 8th dimension, the 5th and 8th dimension that we are in right now, it's a cycle that is very important to pay attention to. And Mother Eve is saying, yes, it is the time of this cycle. It is the time has come. The era is here. And we need to be paying attention to the cycle, because we are part of that cycle. So whether you decide to be some dead or some bacteria that is going to be sprayed with some bleach and be dissipated and be no more, or you're going to be the active, conscious participants wanting to give rise to the cake, as I usually put it, and so everyone or the invitees of the party could come and partake, meaning be productive and to making this a better place. And so the next era, the next generations can actually benefit from from our work, from our participation, just like we have also enjoyed the works of others who have slaved and even lost their lives for us, in the sense of making this a better place, or they had taken on or accepted those roles, that we too can come to understand that there is a participation, or there is a requirement for, on our part to be active. And of course, as we come back, or if we choose to, or however it happens, come back to enjoy this heaven on earth, we would have known we are enjoying the works of our hands. Although in essence, I would love to, on some level, begin to enjoy the works of my hands even now, which I do, because as I am speaking here now, I do enjoy sharing this information. Okay, so I hope you get the gist, or as I say, the juice of all of this, because I think it's very delicious. Okay. I like to say now, because now just brings me back into the present. And you may have noticed, if you've watched my videos, that I say now a little bit too, well, very often. So we had 9/11. The original 9/11 is really adding the numerical values of the gods of Genesis. So when we did add numbers 351, 37652. We added this, and the only number that was missing was 4. So we haven't quite understood why 4 is a miss from that section. But let's add, of course, we added 5879999, and that was the 11. We got those 11 numbers, 11 here. Of course, if we add 9 plus 2, that gives us 11. And when we do the numerical value for the word 11, E-L-E-V-E-N, now there's a thing I really like to point out to people, is that in doing this presentation, we can always tell when Mother Eve is very, very present, as I have been saying, and we see Mother Eve is even, E-V-E-N, even in 11. So Mother Eve is actually, when we say even, we could say Mother Eve is even in 11. Basically, it's like the serpent, it has been prostrated right straight like the rod of Moses or Pharaoh. Okay, now doing the let's do the numerical value here, which is 53545. 5, 5. And as a rule, wherever I see a word or all these fives, I just think of Mother Eve. Wherever I see at least 2 or 3 fives, I just think it's Mother Eve. So adding this together, we have, of course, I'm trying to find a way to do this without strangling myself. Okay, so this is 15, 20, 24, 27. 2 plus 7 equals 9. Now 9 is the number that we have been dealing with from the sacrifice template. Now do excuse me one moment, let me just get the template. Thank you. So this is the template we are talking about from numbers 1 to 9. Of course, we must remember that we haven't got 4, but it still shows up 9 right here without the 4 in what we have been adding. Okay. Oh, well, I was adding 11 for the 5 gods of Genesis of chapter 2. Okay, so this is Mother Eve in case you're new to this channel. So this is the sacrifice template that we have been working with, and really it has been very instrumental in most of our videos. Okay, so this is where we do our jars, and the bucket is where we partake of the food or agreement, whatever it is that we are agreeing on. And number 3 is that luck number. I discovered something very magnificent about number 3, and it is said it is the magical number. Yes, but oh, it is actually so delicious. So I am looking forward to sharing this with you. Of course, it would have to be at another time. And of course, we have seen there's magic too with number 3, because we have 369 here, 369 and 369. I know the number's a bit faint there. It's not very visible here. But that's but it's just another layer, another method opened up before me here. And I'm thinking, well, why didn't they teach this thing to us, you know, when we were much younger? We could have enjoyed maths much more. Okay, well, I think I would. And so we have this new section, which is the men's section. So why the men's section right there? Of course, it actually is the women's section too, but specifically men. Now, because Mother Eve is the womb man right there, okay, and Mother Eve is really calling the men, of course. Now, it would mean that I'm just getting the image now, whether you were man or woman, right here. It's as if I am getting an image until or unless you come to this place, like it would say, unless you accept Christ as your savior, you can't get into the kingdom. Now, this is what is happening here. Mother Eve is Christ. Christ is the king, well, the Christ within us, the Kundalini, the pyramid, the uterus. All these are part of that 5 we are talking about. So unless you really accept that this is the way, meaning like Christ say, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So where life is being being birthed. So when we speak, we are giving life to the words and the voice, the intonations. We are giving life. Likewise, when we give birth to a child through the uterus, we are again giving life. So unless you come through the mouth, so to speak, or accepting right here, as Mother Eve is showing us how to partake of the fruit, which is in the 8th dimension, which is here Mother Eve is saying, come and let us make man in our image after our likeness. this is how we are making man, is like eating or digesting the essence of life, how to do that. So it's very important that we pay attention to Mother Eve here. Now, I also want to point out, wow, very quickly, this is the crucial stage here from 5, 6, 7, 8, particularly 5, 6, 7, 8. This section, when we were constructing this template, I had no power. It seemed powerless, or I felt powerless to do or manipulate these letters here. And now I can understand why. Because this is the section Mother Eve had preserved in a way. It's like saying, you have had your time to play in the playground, do all whatever it is that you wanted to, but now you are being constructed to or instructed to pay attention now. So this is it, from the 5 to the 8th dimension, the new, and of course it is the headquarters right there. Okay. Oh, I'm just okay, I've just seen some notes I've got here again. Okay, it's what I have just written on the other board. So we are in 21 minutes and 32 seconds, or 35 rather. Okay, it makes a difference because it's usually a 32 or 23. Okay, yes, so we want to further explore this. We have seen the 9-11. We have seen Mother Eve is in 11. So we are talking about 9 and we are talking about 11. When we've done 11, we see the word 11 actually also means 9. So if we were to add the values or all the values together, we are talking about 11. And in the word form, we also get 9. I think, I'm just trying to think if I did count, this, okay, but we have it 9 as the numerical value for 11, okay. There's another thing that we want to do right here, because we want to, as I say, pair up the gods. So the maid god, which is number 7, so number 7, perhaps that's where it is said God rested or ended his works on the 7th day. Let's just see how that shows up. So maid would be with the moved God, which is 5. Okay, let's just move this. So maid, M-A-D-E. So we have the maid God, and we also have the ended God, the ended God. So let's take maid off right there. And the ended God, I'm just redoing this video because I felt I missed something. E-N-D-E-D. So they are 5. So 3 5s are 15 in numerical value. And they would really be in the middle of the template that I have just showed you. Okay. Now we have another one that matches, is the blessed God. So it's the 9th God. The 9th God, the blessed God, is number 3. So number 3 comes to divide. The blessed, B-L-E-S-S-E-D. And have we got another 3? No, that's it. So there are 3. Okay, then we have the caused God, of course, is here with 8. The caused God. I'm just saying something very profound. So the caused God is here. Because what I did in the other videos was really move their position. For instance, moving the set God on 7, this here, and so but now I'm getting the inclination, the inkling that the seventh day, this is where it was God ended his work, and perhaps we really need to see this as the day of rest right here, as we have been told. Okay. And oh, this is one. So so that would also mean so the other God too, in Genesis of chapter 2, meaning the cause God, the ended God, and the cause God. Okay, okay, let's just look at this. All right, so we had the ended God moved here, and the ended God was here. Okay, so we'll just leave the space blank to see what happens. Yeah. And then we have the formed God. The formed God. The formed God moves into 7 here. F-O-R-M-E-D. Right here. And the breathed God. So the breathed, it's coming alive. It's coming alive. So we wanted to find out, why is number 4 in numerical value? Well, it's not in numerical value. The numerical value, I was thinking, it's the 4th God who breathed. The 4th God in Genesis of chapter 2 is the breathed God, and the 5th God is the planted God, and which we didn't have a numerical value for the number 4. So I was beginning to think that perhaps the breathed God is the one who holds the key to that number 4, or the 4 for the numerical vibration that we will, on numerical value. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 here, which stands out. This stands out here. These are these positions here, we could say, are vacant. For anyone who wants to put in their resume, it seemed like, oh, or perhaps it has been vacant for us to fill in the post for this new era. Wow. Okay. But in all seriousness, we see that 7 here is missing here, and the 7 coincides with the 7th cycle that we are ending. Now I'm wondering whether we should be moving these up, so to speak. I'm not quite sure what to do with them. Perhaps I should call on Mother Eve and Spirit Guide to help us make better sense of this. But I'm also getting the feeling that we need to, like, just add them all up. Or so God breathed and planted, which is 9. This is where it's as if this is where, according to the template, Mother Eve has done the is occupied with 5 to 8. So the 5 is for the new era, the new man, and so on, and to the headquarters zone, which is in 8, and because 8 is really set right there as well. So Mother Eve is really showing us, and perhaps that is all Mother Eve really needs to do, because once we have come into headquarters zone, we would have no choice than to both out and pay or dues to the Inland Revenue right here. If you're new to this channel and this language is sounding a little bit strange to you, in the sense of in a spiritual context and talking about the inland revenue, do watch my videos, my earlier videos on how this was all set up, meaning an introduction to Crimey Queen's YouTube channel 2018. That will really show you more an in-depth understanding of how we make sense of our world right now. So basically, spirituality is not that far off as we think to what is happening, or what is happening is really a construct of our spiritual world that has been presented to us to so that we could be focusing more, if you like, on the inland revenue, for instance, than the Kundalini rise. Because when you go into the headquarters zone, that's what it's about. It's the serpent taking its rise to be enlightened again. Of course, we have seen it happen in 5. This is where you are in Christ, but this is headquarters zone. You are actually ready to be, it's as if you have filing in or sending in your tax forms. So you have done the work, and you may get a tax return, or you may have to pay on your tax. Yeah, you may have to, or something might be required of you, or something might be given to you, or it may just tally all right, and then you start the cycle over again. Okay. Yeah. So yes, I know it. It's like I can hear you say, what is she talking about? Yes, if you're watching this, you do know about income tax and all of those things. So there we are showing the parallels, because we are living in a world of parallels, and everything is like a copy aspect of another. This is exactly what this earth is created on, those bases. So this is what we need to be doing here. I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. Okay, so 3 5s are 15. So we have 15. And before I move on, as I say, I really wanted to get these gods in showing their numerical values in order. So I may have rubbed some off. Let's see if I can do it on the other board. Okay, I may be able to. So the created God is 2, and so we have 1, 2, 3. So I just want to do them in order. Okay, I think that's what it is here. So this is how they come in the Bible. All right, so I may have to do it on the other board. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. Okay. So we have 1. Okay. Where are we going to do? So the first God, in essence, or the top God, if we go by the numbers, how we are, how we do operate here, is that we would say number 1 is first. So the called God would be first, basically. So let's have the called God here. So we have the called God. Okay, so called, I'm just using these numbers here. And number 2 would be created God, created. Number 3 is this divided and blessed. So let's take this off. Divided. Hope you can see this, and blessed. We don't have number 4, but we do have 5, of course. So it's moved, made, and ended. No 4, moved, made, ended. Okay, and 6. Okay, so we have 6. Oh, did we have 6? Oh, yes, 6 is the said God. How could I forget Mother Eve? So 6, S-A-I-D, said, and 7 is saw and formed. Okay, let's do. So this is 6, 7, saw and formed. And we have 8 is set and caused. So set, C-A-U-S-E-D. Okay. So, right. What I am seeing is, how about if we add, for instance, the set God and the formed God together? What would that be? Because set is 7, no, set is 8, and the cause God is also 8. So 8 plus 8 is 16, 1 plus 16, 1 plus 6 is 7. Okay. So we would have 7 here. Okay, I'll begin here. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to add the ones that are doubled or partnered and to see how they come together. So divided and blessed would equal 6. Moved, made, ended would also equal 6 because that's 15, would also equal 6. Set and caused would equal 7. Okay, 7. Let's just have 7 here. And saw and formed would equal 14. So that would be 5. Okay. So now what we can see here is that we have a pattern. We have a pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Or we have 2 5s and 2 6s and 1 7. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. Now, I've got it. It's not like this. We have 1, 2. That's correct. And then on number 3, we have 6. And number 4, there is no 4 here. Number 5, we have 6. Okay. And 7 and 5. So if we put these in order, we would have the called God, the created God, we would have the divided God and the blessed God. Then we would have the moved. Then we would have the saw God and the formed God. That's correct. So basically, the 4th entry would be the saw God and the formed God. Right here. Saw God and the formed God would be here. So we take this off, which was number 7. Next we have the set and the cause God, which would be 6. So we have 2 6s. Set and caused is 6. Okay. We have 2 6s. And that's it. Of course, we have the said God. We have 3 6s. 3 6s. I really want to continue this. Okay, we have 3 6s. So, because the said God is also 6, and the said God is, yes, exclusive. So we can see we have 3 6s here. I'm feeling I need to do this bit again, and let's just go over this bit again, because it's the 666 I feel is coming, is appearing here. Wow. How am I going to do this? I'm holding up the board and it's not very comfortable, but okay. So or perhaps I could use another method here. CAUSED. Okay. So the called God is 1, 1, 2, 3. We have not 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are only missing the 4, number 4 here. And we want to establish why we are missing 4. But we have added this, and we know that we get the numerical value of 9 or 911. We know that. Okay. We have also, so we had here, I'm feeling I'm going to need to do this again. So perhaps I should end this presentation on here so I can really examine this, because I believe that we will find a flow here that will give us more meaning to how we can relate to these gods. Because as we can see, the God divided and the God blessed, of course, divided and blessed, because blessed also have less in it, is they work together. The moved God and the made God and the ended God, they work together. Or they have the same, whether they work together or not, but they operate on the same numerical vibration here. The created God, of course, it has the 2, is balance here. Like we could say the set and the cause God is balanced with the number 8 as well. So basically, we are now looking at these gods they could have operated or have a hierarchical order, we don't know, according to the numerical value. Or the function, we could see, like the called God. Hence we are told whenever you want something to manifest, you call. First thing is that you call. Now call, of course, there is a vibration or wave. Of course, that would coincide with Mother Eve as the said God. Well, I hope you have found something from this presentation, but we are exploring this. As I say, I'm working intuitively on these presentations, and of course, I'm open to the wisdom that is being channeled, and I'm hoping you are as well. And if you have, of course, from your view, if you have anything you saw or want to add or want to make a point, feel free to make a point, and let's see how we can do or work together, and whatever I can do or re-examine. Yes. Thank you. And if you like this presentation, give us a thumbs up. Please remember to give us a like. Okay, and subscribe. Spill over with love.